Alright, hello. Welcome to my 11.1 guide for Frost. I'm going to be primarily covering Frostfire here, which you're going to see why in a second. My audio might sound a bit different. I'm sick and I'm using an AMD GPU suppression instead of NVIDIA, which I've been using for the past few years. Anyway, let's get into it. So, the current state of our hero talents has been a bit of a roller coaster through PTR, but what we ended up on is Frostfire being the only choice right now. It's like 5% better in single target and, whopping 8 to 12% better in AOE. I imagine most people will not be playing Death Chill in AOE, but, even still, with just chain reaction, it's significantly better than Spell Slinger. So, yeah, um, that's where we're at. Frostfire really isn't too bad compared to where it's been in the past. The bolt spam rotation does still exist, but we're going to ignore that. It hasn't really been fleshed out this season, and people really did not care to play it last season. So if it becomes a larger deal because they decide to, for some horrible reason, buff Flurry or Frostfire Bolt, then we'll come to that when we have to. But for now, we get to play like normal people and not do that. So, yeah. Um, let's get started. If you've been living under a rock, the main things that changed were they buffed Blizzard substantially, which we're casting on CD, so it didn't really do anything except make us cast it a bit more at lower target count. And this is the big one where Ice Lances with Fingers of Frost don't consume Weir's Chill. This actually results in a very awkward feeling, in my opinion, but we'll see what you guys think about it. And then they debuffed duration of Winter's Chill to compensate from that. And then for Frostfire, they made it so excess fire comes from Comet Storm, and excess frost comes from consuming excess fire, which I think is a little unintuitive. But yeah, I think they did this because they wanted you to not track them, but you do have to track them now. So don't know, interesting. And then Spell Slinger, they made it so Fingers of Frost during its winters, but then they make it nerfed it, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, starting off with single target. This is what the single target tree looks like for Frostfire. And even though we do have Death Chill, you're not going to play around it. You're just going to treat it as completely passive. You might be asking, why do we have it if we treat it as completely passive? Well, all our other talents suck. So, yeah. Ray is not really necessary. If you prefer not to play Ray, you can run this with Slick Ice and Cold Front. And again, you're not going to play around them. The talents suck. So you can do whatever you want, really. But yeah, our Cleave is in a bit of a worse position because we have, Freezing Winds is totally useless outside of full AoE, but we still want Coldest Snap for burst AoE. So this is what our talent tree is looking like. This is our single target priority, and it's pretty flexible. There's a few things you can move around, and I'll explain some of the things I've done to move this around as well that you might see it between different guides and whatnot. But yeah, so we got essentially two flurry conditions, the standard flurry after Glacial Spike or Frostbolt, but now we include Comet Storm, and we're doing that if we don't already have Winter's Chill on the target. And then you're also going to throw Flurry if you have both Excess Frost and Fire. This is going to be true for single target and AoE, so it's good to get used to this. And this does not care about Winter's Chill, so you will munch Winter's Chill, which is a bit awkward. Then we're just going to throw Comet Storm on CD, which is why we're now flurrying after Comet Storm instead of before. I like this where you just Ray immediately after you flurry, and then that allows us to actually place it above Glacial Spike. You're probably going to see a different version in guides and whatnot, but I like this because otherwise it's kind of awkward to delay it till after you Glacial Spike. Um, then just Orb on CD, shifting power with everything on CD, Ice Lancing, and then a Frostfire Bolt, right? Pretty standard stuff, not too crazy. So because I want to race so soon, I'm gonna do a bit of a different opener, but yeah. So Frostfire Bolt, Flurry, Ice Veins, Comet Storm, Ray, Orb, pretty classic stuff. So let's do. And we'll Orb after. These are Ice Lances. I'm gonna Flurry here. And I probably should have already shifting powered because it is higher priority. than like Ice Lance and everything. Hmm. And it's a bit weird, but yeah, I would ignore this excess frost to just use flurry. And here it wants me to do it again. So sure, why not? That's just because I have excess fire and frost at the same time. My weak ward is potentially not perfect. Oh yeah, well it also requires me not to have 5 icicles, so I guess that's why it's not showing a lot of time as well. And then I don't really need a flurry to cast Glacial Spike, so I'll just toss Glacial Spike out there. I could Counter Storm, but yeah. Just cast Ray here, because it's just after Winter's Chill anyway. And then, I would ideally read Icy Veins, but it's just going to be more of the same. So it's not that crazy. You do need to keep a closer look on your Winter's Chill, because, oh, here I Frostfire bolted after that Glacial Spike, even though I had Fair's Frost. Because in the old iteration of Frost, you can't Ice Lance after that, because the Ice Lance would consume the Winter's Chill. But since I have Finger's Frost, I can, because the Finger's Frost wouldn't consume the Winter's Chill. So, anyway, I hope that's a good showcase of the single target for you. Um, the excess Fire and Frost flurry stuff is really, really weird. It's technically, there's ways to better optimize that. It was, that condition is created kind of for simplicity because it's something that we do in AoE as well, and it's close enough to, what the more efficient way is in single target. But yeah, it creates some very awkward scenarios where you're just kind of flurrying once or twice, or even like 2 flurries into an ice lance into another flurry. But yeah, so AoE time. So as mentioned, we played Death's Chill, but this is exactly the same situation we were in last year, where it's several percent better, but most people just don't play it, right? And they play this. Totally fine. This is, in fact, what I recommend you play for probably the entire patch. Just mess with Death's Chill if you want to, and don't if you don't, okay? But I am going to show how to play it with Death's Chill just so that people, um, can if they want to. Here's our AoE priority list. So we got our opener, right, of Blizz Orb, Death's Chill, Frostfire Bolt, Spam, which you wouldn't do if you don't have it, or aren't nice veins, and then another Blizzard, Comet Storm, kind of Cold Orb, right? While build Death's Chill to 12 is the highest priority, it is kind of an implicit thing that you have Blizz and Orb out already, so you would Blizzard Orb before you did this. And I can explain why if people are curious, but that's true. You should Blizzard Orb before you build your Dust Chill. Um, and then your second highest priority would be Comet Colding if you just use Comet Storm. There should be no gap between your Comet Storm and your Comet Cold. Okay, if you press Comet Storm, you then press Comet Cold. All right, I see a lot of times people press Comet Storm, like, oh, let me just press Blizzard, and then I'll press Comet Cold. No, you have to press Comet Storm and then Comet Cold. Nothing in between. Okay? That is because we want to shatter that Comet Storm with the Comet Cold. And it only works if it's next GCD. Okay, so don't Comet Storm and then Ice Lance and then Comet Cold. That's very bad. So, yeah. Then you just toss Orb out on CD, of course. They want you to Ice Lance with 2 excess fire if Comet Storm is ready, just so you don't overcap your excess fire and you get extra brain freeze. Blizzard on CD, Comet Storm, you're gonna hold it for kind of cold. You get less than 10 seconds on CD, pretty classic. Glacial Spike, just when you can. Your Flurry, either, again, if you have excess Frost and Fire, ignoring Winter's Chill, or with no Winter's Chill. Frostfire Bolt with your Empowerment if you don't have excess Fire. Shifting Power if everything's on CD. Ice Lance, and then standard Frostfire Bolt, which you shouldn't be expecting to do. So let's give that a shot. So, classic opening with the Death Chill stacking. Refresh your Blizzard, and then you go into your kind of cold combo. And then you just spam Flurry. after this. So I flurry both my flurries away, which feels awkward, but here, after I count Storm and get rid of my flurry, I should not have Ice Lance. I should use my Frostfire Bolt. Because if you have flurry on the target, and there that turned two flurries, that's why I did it like one later. But I turned up Ice Lance in that case. I should have used my flurry first. As soon as you get out of Mirror's Chill, you just want to flurry again, right? This is going to lead to an awkward situation where I just run out of things. It's kind of unfortunate, actually. But it's like here I'm Frostful into flurry. But, and we want to refresh our Blizzard, which is good. And then I should have flurried twice there, but I reacted with an Ice Lance first. I know it sounds awkward to be like flurrying twice, but if you have the charges, you do it before you Ice Lance. Because otherwise, you just have so many flurries that you don't use. Then you'd go back into, this and use your Just Chill, and then you would flurry twice, which I do here, and then you would have saved your Comet Storm for your kind of cold. But yeah. Sorry. But yeah, you can see like here's a situation where the sim does it because it has excess fire and two stacks of excess frost essentially. So you flurry once and you still have a flurry charge and you still have both excess fire and frost. So you flurry again, and then you'll go down to Ice Lance and this will give you your flurry back or one of the flurries back. And then yeah, you're good. So one of the reasons you can do this is your Winter's Chill is a lot less restrictive now. Right. So you're gonna have Glacial Spike up for Where's Chill probably regardless, just because most of your Ice Lances, there's not gonna consume it because you have so many frames of frost from your orbs and everything. So yeah. This is what the damage breakdown looked like. I wouldn't really too much about the DPS meters because I'm hitting Val Dragon dummy. So yeah, Frostfire Burst, which is your excess fire, that's actually doing quite a large amount of damage. And you can see, yeah, just a lot from Blizzard and whatnot. I don't know if things scale weirdly though on a 70 target or 70 level dummy. So, and then for single target, since I didn't show it, it looked like this. And yeah, gear wise, we're pretty simple, and I would just recommend checking your guides, but using the same embellishments as last year. We'll see if this is the meta though, because Fire and Arcane eventually want to use the on-use staff from Mechagon, and then they can't use Ascendance. So maybe if you want to play all three specs, like the meta is a little different, but you will probably be crafting a weapon first. If you can do a myth track weapon, you should probably craft a staff first. And in that case, you will probably be fine crafting Ascendance with it because that will be better than a hero track Mechaon staff, most likely, for Fire and Arcane. Just talking multi-specking here. Trinket wise, we really like the synergistic brutalizer, which you have to like swap to damage and then it will explode. Um, this seems kind of annoying. I don't know if I'm gonna use it. We'll see how good it is. But yeah, you have to target it, so you'll probably have to have a target macro with Ice Lance or something to kill it. And then Candle Confidant is, of course, making its wonderful return for single target. So getting those delves. And then for AoE, we just like Eye of Kazan, which is something that every spec in the game, I think, wants. I think this is a new Spy Master. So yeah, it drops from Gallywix. Good luck. Good luck. There's a new Winter's Chill weak word to account for the fact that Fingers of Frost doesn't consume Winter's Chill, which is kind of in the Mage Discord, but needs kind of cold added to that, so I guess I'll add that to it and then update my weak word package for point one. But I'll have to update my weak word package a few times because I need like the new Barrage Helper weak word for Arcane, and I'll probably need to do some fire updates as well, considering its popularity and the fact that I'll probably be playing it. So. Yep. Yeah, but that's how Frost is currently looking for point one. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I think the video quality might be a little weird. I'm recording on a new computer because I've built one since last year. And so I might have a few more kinks to work out, and so it'd be great to hear those. I imagine there's gonna be a lot of comments about the audio. I feel like the audio feels very flat and not super easy to understand, and I know I'm not the most easy to understand person in general. So, I mean, I'm curious to hear, your guys' thoughts about that. But looking forward to, getting more consistent streaming back again, right? I'll be streaming my raid progression Friday, Saturday, 6 to 10 PST. And Wednesday we do heroic for the first week or two for 6 to 10 PST, and then I'll probably stream keys for a little bit just because I do have a bit more of a life now than last year, and maybe the years before that. So I probably won't be as degen as I potentially have been in the past year, but I've never really been an insane streamer anyway, so I don't think anyone will be disappointed. Um, but yeah, I hope I answered most of your questions. I know I didn't do a beginner guide, like a beginner intro in this video, and I kind of get a little tired of doing them. I need to probably record a standard one and then throw it in there. I also see a lot of comments sometimes, like it's like, oh my god, the guide's like 50 minutes long. I don't want to watch that. And it's like, you know, I normally split them up pretty well, so you just skip to the section you want to watch, and I don't want to like have people be deterred from watching it because of the length. But in reality, I kind of just I didn't want to make the beginner thing again, because I keep re-recording them every tier, and I should just make a standardized one, especially now that they've changed how base frost works, right? So yeah, um, it's just a bit unfortunate that some things get outdated, right, really fast. Like I made a really good in-depth shatter guide a year ago, I think. And I think that's kind of slipped on. So maybe I'll drop that in the description if anyone really wants to learn or be reminded about like the core functionalities of Frost. Then that's a great video to start with, and you can ask me any questions or go into Frost Discord and ask questions as well. Um, well, the Mage Discord, the Frost section of it is a absolutely wonderful place for questions, for log reviews, for anything, and I'll be there as well if you need me. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.